Hi, everybody. My name is Josie Ramirez Herndon, and I am your host for Drama to Dharma. I want to thank you all for joining our show this week. Our topic is honor yourself to honor others, and I added honor God, honor yourself, and honor others. Of course, we want to remember that God is always first. Jesus, Allah, whoever you see as your higher power, the universal light. That when Gabriel talks about God, he talks about he who has no name and he who has every name. So that is to me who God is everything that is and creator of all. And it could be nature for some people. So whenever we think about honoring God, he says we're also honoring ourselves. So that's why the topic is so close, honoring God, honoring ourselves, and then we can honor others. So we're going to delve into that topic this evening. But I wanted to thank our sponsors first, ATS, Advanced Therapeutic Services. My husband Jim and I own that treatment center in Rancho Mirage, California, and we specialize in substance abuse for adolescents, adults, and mental health. And I've been doing this work over 30 years. My husband over 20 years. He practices medicine. I do the administrative, CEO, program development stuff, and I'm very passionate about that. So I hope that you can, if you need any help, you could come to our website and let us know. We'll help you. We do telehealth also, virtual, or we are available in person in Rancho Mirage, California. And so they are our sponsor for the show, and also Spirituality Gone Wild, Debbie G, who has helped me put this platform together and connect all of you with me for this opportunity. I'm writing a book called Harmonics of the Heart, and it's inspired by Archangel Gabriel. And I consider myself a conduit. When for most of you and for myself, all my life, we ask, some of us, I know I have asked questions of God. How can I, what is my purpose here? How can I honor you the most, God? What can I do to make this a better world, or any of those things? I think we sometimes ask those questions. What can I do? So I've been asking those questions all my life, and it came through that I am able to communicate with the angels and write this book and get messages across to those who are asking, and then for myself when I ask. And we all have this ability. We all have this ability. I was raised in a very conservative Christian home, Seventh-day Adventist, and I was also raised Catholic from my father's side. So I was raised with a lot of doctrine. I've read the Bible several times, and my heart is open to God from that viewpoint. Although now, through the angelic realm, I can feel the openness and the oneness that we all have together. And when we open our hearts to each other, we can really feel that love, regardless of how we see God. And I know throughout history, Gabriel says there have been so many wars because of religion. So this is not about religion per se, although I was raised with much religion. This is about spirit, and this is about our heart connection to God and to ourselves. So that's just kind of explaining a little bit about this. My sisters called me. We Drama to Dharma. That's the name of the show. So my sister asked me, what does Dharma mean? Because again, she's very Christian. So she's like, what does Dharma mean? And I said, it means Zen. It means spiritual. It means, just divinity. So from drama to divinity, from drama to Dharma. I resonate with the word Dharma as being calm and spiritual. It can also mean divinity. It can mean, from drama to how we find our peace and our love. So that the discussions that we have in our show are open for questions. I love questions that Gabriel can answer through me, and I will answer them, from him. So if you have any questions, that's very helpful to me. And so please ask me questions. So my sisters called 20 minutes before the show, and that was beautiful. I hadn't talked to them in months. I haven't seen them since the holidays because of the coronavirus. And so she was asking me a little bit about the show, and I told her our topic was honor yourself to honor others. And she reminded me that we should honor God first. So that's why, in her honor, I added that to the comments that you might see. So, of course, I told her we definitely always, everything is about Dharma, about spirit when we are talking on my show, and that's the purpose of it. So I'm hoping that you guys can feel that with me as well. So I have a comment here from Carly. So what will happen is he'll start talking, Gabriel will give messages, but if I have questions come up, I'm going to go ahead and answer them. So the question here, or the comment from Carly, is I feel so much of what is going on in our world today has to do with the way people are not honoring themselves or others. So many people simply care less about how they allow themselves to be surrounded with and influenced by. Each individual needs to focus on who is allowed in their inner circle, who they can choose as friends, or choose as a soulmate. How do we influence our adult children, siblings, or friends who consistently surround themselves with toxic people? People who influence them. People who influence them to accept conditions and situations that they would never have thought acceptable. Okay, so that was a question from Carly. And thank you, Carly. So the question there would be, how do we influence our adult children and siblings? So how do we influence others who consistently surround themselves with toxic people? So we're going to start there. And these answers are going to come from Gabriel directly. So what Gabriel is saying, and this is from Gabriel, there are no toxic people. That's number one, because he says we are all mirrors to each other. So now, with that being said, of course, there are people with higher vibrations, lower vibrations, the people that you shouldn't have in your realm, or that could hurt you or hurt each other. I mean, that's a whole topic of itself. But he says that from the eyes of God and from the eyes of the angelic realm, that truly there's no judgment, that every human believes that they're okay in their own mind. They believe they're okay. So as soon as we can put a judgment that somebody else is toxic, then he always tells me, before we judge, is to go ahead and look back at ourselves and what part of that is bothering us, type of thing. And I'm sure you have all heard that before. And I'm thinking, oh boy, every time I get that answer from Gabriel, I'm like, yeah, of course, So, the first thing he says is, before you judge somebody as toxic, just know that, judging people, that alone is not a God vibration. That's not what the Bible talks about. That's not what, the spiritual teachers talk about, judging people. It's really about just allowing people to be who they are, but not necessarily have them in your realm. So if they don't resonate with you, or you think they shouldn't resonate with another person, that takes it pretty hard. Because I understand what you're saying, Carly. I have children who have friends that I wish they maybe weren't their friends, but that I don't have anything to do with that. So I just tell them, to be careful. But if they have somebody in their life that maybe I don't resonate with, I just say, please honor me by not speaking about me to that person, or just, keep me out of that topic, when you guys are together, and be safe with them. And, just so if you can, again, see that person, your family member, in loving eyes, and you can see them surrounded by loving people, then, and bless and release them, then it truly is going to be exactly the way it should be. So we're not trying to, tell people what to do. That's a little bit. Now, right now, things in the world are very difficult, and there's a lot of heavy energy. So I choose not to watch the news, and I choose to stay in a higher dimension as long as I can, by surrounding myself sometimes with only myself and reading and praying and writing and things like that. Now I know everybody can't do that, but and I'm still out there, working and running a treatment center and doing a lot of virtual things, of course, and that's, the drama stuff that happens. But if we're going to really talk about how do we go from drama to dharma, then that's a perfect, situation or that Carly's asking about, because it's like drama is where we are every day, pretty much. And if we truly want to get to a place of dharma in the situation that she's posing, then Gabriel says, let it go. Don't have judgment. Just, bless and release and do something else that's going to raise the vibration for you. So that takes us into our topic of honoring ourselves. So he says, when he talks about honoring ourselves, my sister, I went ahead and explained to her that meant self-care, because she was taking it as being selfish. Like, how can you have a topic, honoring yourself? Don't you honor yourself all the time, sister? Because of course sisters can tell that to each other, right? and of course she's never watched my show, so that's sisters, that's okay. And but hopefully someday she will, and hopefully someday we'll have conversations, because sometimes we don't all agree on things, but we still love each other very much. But so when I explained to her that honoring yourself means self-care, and she goes, oh, okay. So if I would have just said self-care, then she would have understood. Now, again, I asked Gabriel for the topics, and he wanted me to use the word honor yourself. Because when he first said that, I'm like, I don't even know what that means. When he said that's going to be our topic, I'm like, what does that mean? That is so foreign to me. I don't honor myself. So I had to do a little digging with that this week. How do you honor yourself? And honoring yourself does not mean to just sit there and quote unquote be selfish, although that's okay too when you're taking care of yourself. He's saying if you don't take care of yourself and you don't have self-care, then you're not going to be there to take care of others. That's what that means. Honor yourself to honor others. Take care of yourself first, just like if you were on the airplane and you're going down and you have to put your oxygen on first, and then you can help your child that's sitting next to you get their oxygen on, right? So that's what he's saying, that take care. And we've all read the books, we've all seen this, we've all heard many of workshops about it, I'm sure, but he wants it as a reminder for this week, because he says it's critical right now that people are stressed out, and they're feeling it in their physical bodies, and they're feeling it in their tiredness. Again, that's just been helping. There's a lot going on the planet. So he just wants to remind people tonight to take care of yourself, and to find, what does that mean for you, not for your family. Now, again, like my sister said, God first, yes, because God will help give you those answers. So you can be in prayer and meditation with God to help you come up with that list. But don't think about others and what they would want for you to do to take care of yourself, if that makes sense. And to me, that makes sense. So he's saying, love your family, put them right here, but think about yourself. And in that turn, you think about yourself with God, and you can do prayer, meditation. You come up with your list. His homework for this week is coming up with a list for yourself that you don't have to share with anybody else. Just your list. You could even put it on whatever pad you use for your grocery list, or your stickies, or whatever you use to jot down your notes, your phone. He says, just come up with a list of 5 things, something easy, 5 things to honor yourself privately. It's important to keep that list to yourself, so that so that it is truly your list for yourself. It's not what somebody else would want you to do. And when you look at your list, you're going to do a check and say, now, is that to help me with my growth and my self-care, or is this to help somebody else? So you're going to do that. And he really is encouraging us, and it's totally against the grain for most of us to do that. It's the furthest thing from our minds, but it's important, because if we get sick, how are we going to be there for our loved ones? How are we going to be there for our sick parents, or our children, or anybody else that's sick right now? And especially now that, with all this viruses going around and the fear of it. And well, if somebody, so that could be number one on our list. How do I keep myself safe so that I don't get some of these viruses or, whatever? You just can think about those things to keep yourself safe, to keep yourself healthy, because otherwise we won't be there for each other. And that's the whole point. So it's not about, you know, um, possibly, just doing something that's not going to benefit others. Because at the end of the day, if we're here healthy and we have loved ones, they're going to feel us and they're going to also raise their vibration health wise. So I'm going to just share, which I do, is do personal shares. So yesterday I had a cardiac stress test. I'm being worked up for some things, So I had a cardiac stress test and I passed it. My heart rate went up to 140. I've been having low oxygen. I have sleep apnea. I've got these things. So we're ruling out a bunch of stuff. So, but what I found on the cardiac stress test, that I was on this treadmill and then they put you on, first they monitor you, then you do treadmill, and then you monitor again. And my vital signs before the cardiac stress test, my oxygen was low, my blood pressure was high. Did this complete cardio workout and I was sweating after 12 minutes, and then got back on, did all the vital signs and checked everything. My heart rate, my blood pressure went down and my oxygen went up. So my vital signs actually got better with 12 minutes of exercise. And I told the doctor, wow, I was so excited about that. I was like, it was right there in, as you say, black and white, that, what a difference. So the doctor told me, all you have to do is live on the treadmill and you'll be fine. And I was like, thanks, doctor. I love you. And I just, I'm going to go buy a treadmill and another one. I've thrown how many out because I didn't use them. And I'm just going to live on my treadmill, according to my doctor. That's my remedy. So anyways, I am going to start walking more and exercising more, but it was so interesting for me to see it so clearly that I got clarity about my health, because I was afraid to exercise because I thought, with these medical things going on and my breathing and this and that what if I'm out there on a walk and I collapse and blah, blah, blah. He said, no, look, exercise is good for you. And I'm like, great. So I just wanted to share that with you guys so that you know that it's so important to exercise, to go walking a couple miles a day. Just move your body. It actually helps with your vital signs. And I'm sure this is all old news for many people, but right now it's just such a reminder for us to really do that. It's good to get that breath going through us. We're holding a lot of stress in our bodies. Therefore, we have plugs going on. I've got different plugs going on, and it, like heart, my heart and my lungs and things like that. And so if we just, can really look at what will help us. And I told him, I said, so should I change my diet? So this is a cardiologist. I'm assuming he's going to give me 10 pages of what I need to do to change my diet. And he said, no. He said, that's, according to him, he said, it's more important that you exercise and that you get your heart flowing like that. And then the pounds will start falling off. You're going to be more, apt to eat healthier food. And that's the story of my life, that when I exercise, I don't want to eat crazy because then I feel like I'm wasting it. So that's true. So I loved his advice, and I'm going to do the best that I can to adhere to that. And I'm kind of excited about that. I'm not going to put a lot of stress on myself and say, oh, I'm going to do this and that, because I don't want to, put too many expectations for failure. But I'm going to just try to do that. That's one thing for my self-care, my honoring myself, that I'm going to do. And I'm really excited about it because I saw the difference in 12 minutes. So it could be that quickly if you decide to, to do something like that on your self-care list and you're honoring yourself. And some of you may be just total, health and fitness and perfect, in every way. So then you can, if you are somebody who is very healthy and work out and things like that, I think maybe you can share that some of your secrets with us, and share some, secrets with some of your things that you do with your friends, because maybe there are people, everybody keeps talking about this COVID 15 pounds that we've gained. And believe me, I know about that. Um, so I'm part of that group. Um, so last week we were talking about, we were going to do the divine body divinity 5-day workout, and then Jody was talking about, if that doesn't work, then we can do, a big cheesecake, workout thing, whatever. So we can do that too. So whatever works. You could try the, eating healthy, and then you could have a little bit of dessert if you feel like it. But either way, whatever it is that's going to give you and soothe you right now is what you should be doing. Okay. Without any guilt, So if it is dessert that you want to do and start baking some stuff, then enjoy it. That's what Gabriel says about that. Enjoy it. Pray over it. Say, bless this food, bless this bread, and it'll bless your body. So, because you've seen people who can eat sugar and carbs all day long and they never gain weight. Why? Because they're not worried about it too. They're not stressing about it. They just, somehow their metabolism is really fast and they can do that. Now, that hasn't been the case for me, but who knows? I mean, it could someday still be the case for me. So that's, it's not too late. Gabriel says we can always, have fast metabolism. Now, let me see here. Jim, my husband wrote, honoring ourselves and others, isn't that honoring God? Treating ourselves and those around us with respect and love. There are many people that don't agree with or really like that. I can still honor them by allowing them to be them and me to be me. That's absolutely correct. Thank you, Jim, for that. And that is honoring that, honoring them for who they are and everything. So, whether it's, friends and family, always just honor, as much as possible, honor who they are. And you can tell them that. You could say, use that word. You could say, I honor who you are. And, I'm trying to honor who I am. It's been a difficult road to honor who I am. It's not something that we do as humans, Gabriel says. We might say we do, but we truly, a lot of us don't do that. It's hard to do that. It's against our grain to honor ourselves. So he's asking us to really strengthen our muscles, our spiritual muscles, by honoring ourselves with consultation of our higher source. And then in turn, we'll be able to honor others because we will feel good about ourselves. And this is my age as well, my fan. Sorry about that. I have to do that sometimes. Okay. Let's see. Debbie, Divine Body Reset links. Yes. So she posted it, the Divine Body Reset. It's on the 20th. We're going to start the Divine Body Reset. And that's a free 5 days that we're going to all work together online to work with Andrea. And she's going to give us a program to help us reset our bodies. And she's a personal trainer and a nutritionist. So she's going to do, we'll answer a questionnaire. So it'll be individual and it'll get us reset. So it's a Divine Body Reset. And I hope that you guys are interested and that you'll want to join us for that. Okay, so let me see here. I don't know if we have any other questions or comments, but I'm having a little bit of trouble. This is why I'm getting myself checked, because I've been having trouble breathing. Next week, I'll bring a guest on so that I won't have to do the show myself. And if you guys have any suggestions or if you'd like to be on the show, please let me know. And we can have a panel up, maybe a health and nutrition panel. I'm going to see if Andrea can join us. And again, this is a topic that is kind of near and dear to all of us, of course, because it's about us. And Gabriel says to remember to love yourself, and that's not easy. So honoring yourself, you can get into the mirror and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful. And that's not easy to do. Believe me, I know. But actually, I started that practice a few years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, and it kind of works, because if you look at yourself and you're feeling down, and you're feeling down and you're not looking that great, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you can picture yourself being beautiful the way God sees you as his beautiful child, then all of a sudden you're going to see yourself that beautiful. I've tried it. It works. I might, and I don't know, again, sometimes it's like, is that reality? Am I really that good looking? No, just kidding. But but when you're looking at yourself through the eyes of God, when you're looking at yourself, then you are going to start falling in love with that person, and in small ways. And when you do that, then you can, honor other people. So now he wants to talk about honoring other people. What does that mean to honor others after we've spent time honoring ourselves and made our list of what we're going to do to honor ourselves and how we're going to move forward with that? So to honor others would be to allow them to be who they are. Because if God gives us free will, he says, then who are we to take that away from them based on who they are? So right now on the planet, people are shifting, and I think you've probably noticed that people are shifting. They're afraid. Sometimes they're really excited though, because they might be starting a whole new path. Perhaps they were doing this job for a long time and now they don't have a job, so they're thinking about doing something more creative. And so he's saying, honor them for who they are. They are finding themselves. So encourage people in our lives, our loved ones, to follow their bliss, follow who they are, and to ask questions about, who am I? If we ask, who am I, then they will get their answers. So some people right now, a lot of people are doing that. And so they may look like they're not doing much, or it may look like because we're all home and things are so different, but just honor who they are and encourage them to be creative and to do what it is that they feel, and to be their spiritual self. And to, if you're able to talk to them in that light about being who they truly are, and being their authentic self. So as soon as you can be authentic yourself and love yourself with some of the tools that Gabriel talked about, then in turn, you're going to be able to honor others and truly let them be who they are. And if who they are isn't quite what you think they should be, then you don't have to spend time with them. It's that simple. You can just go and do something else with other people and still love them, but you don't have to be with them all the time, so you're not irritated with each other, you see? So, what he's saying is, in order to honor others, it all works together as one, honoring higher source, honoring God, honoring ourselves, and honoring others. It's all one big golden thread together when we can do that. And that's why he wanted to use that powerful word of honoring, because it is a sacred word. It's saved for a sacred divinity. And he wants us all to know that we are divine beings. And we talk about that sometimes, but we haven't spoke about it in a deep way. So he just wants to remind us this week, through our list, that we are divinity. We are divinity. We are divine. And when you say that, and when you're looking in the mirror and you look at yourself through the eyes of God, then you're going to see that divine person, and you're going to be able to walk that life. And then you might think to yourself, well, what about all the terrible things I've done? I don't deserve all of this talk that you're talking about. Oh, yes, you do. That's your ego saying you don't deserve God's love, and you don't deserve to be that beautiful person and do what God wants you to do, or do what you want to do for yourself. That was the answer Gabriel gave me when I asked, why am I writing this book? Why me? I'm like the last person that I think would, you know. Anyways, I was questioning, and he said that was my ego questioning, because I was, afraid to really, follow God in the way that God was asking me to follow him, because it was a different way. And so I thought, okay, that makes sense, because how did I want to share with people that I had this quote unquote gift of being able to translate energy from the angelic realm into messages that are very important, compassion and love messages, and for those who are ready to hear it, and that it'll touch their soul. I thought, how am I going to do that? And he said, just do it. Like today with this question, with our topic, it was kind of like I was struggling with it, because I didn't even understand really what it meant. And then when I told my sister the topic, she really didn't understand. And so when I said self-care, she's like, okay, that makes more sense. So, how could I expect her to understand if I didn't? But I understood, what she meant. So I'm hoping that you guys can kind of relate to that as we're talking, because it's most important. Gabriel says there's a lot going on in the world. There are many questions that we have, just in general, of God, in general, what's going to happen. We don't know. And that's the whole truth. We don't know. We live right now in this moment. And you all know that in your spirits, in your hearts, that we only have this one moment to live. And everything for 2020, which was our topic a couple weeks ago, hindsight is 2020. Everything in this year has reminded us point blank that we only have this moment. And every time we try to do some other plans, we get taken back to this moment. So, just remember that when you're working on honoring yourself, that it's okay, because that's all we have. And then at some point, that's just he says it's like catapult. The more you honor yourself, you're just going to catapult into this beautiful reality, of life. And you're not going to be afraid of it. And then others are going to want to be with you on that journey that's so beautiful. And some may or may not understand, and that's okay, because you just bless and release, and you help them however you can, or you be kind to each other, and kind words and such when possible. Again, the drama part for me is that I have a hard time doing that, as when I'm just kind of doing my day-to-day life. I'm not always honoring myself and honoring others, believe me. It's like, I'm sure people could be on the show right now going, yeah, right, Josie, what do you, and again, it's not me. These are not my messages. These are messages that I'm allowing to come through from Gabriel and the angelic realm, and his realm of, Gabriel. So I just want to remind everybody that my daily life, I struggle with this all the time as well. So we're all learning together. I'm not ever trying to say that I understand and that I live this, life, this spiritual life. I just do the best that I can with it. And I know when I'm needing to get into another, into prayer, meditation, or just solitude to regroup myself. And that's what I do. And so I encourage you to do that. To honor yourself is to spend some time alone as well. And maybe you'll add that to your list, to spend some time alone with God, alone with, your thoughts, alone with no thoughts, alone with meditation and no thoughts, and honor who you are, and just rest. If you need rest, if you haven't rested, rest. If you've rested too much, couch potato-ish, get up and go walking. So find the balance when you're writing your list. Have I been too much of a couch potato? Do I need to go walk? Or have I been keeping myself really busy in so many ways that I'm exhausted that I need to take a nap? So find whatever it is that's going to help raise you and honor yourself through the process. And then you'll do fine. I'm hoping that we have some questions here from anybody, or for Gabriel. I would love to see some come across. And let's see, I have from Jody, we love you. Thank you for the message, honoring yourself and others, following your bliss. Yes. Thank you, Carly says, for reminding me to stay in the moment. Those are all, and yes, all of those things are very important. Just reminders. You hear them, but you need to hear them over and over. So that's what Gabriel says when he repeats himself sometimes, when we repeat the message. He says it's because that's something that you need to hear at this moment. So that's why sometimes things will just come out randomly, but those are things that you need to hear, because he knows who you are. I mean, I know that sounds weird. He does. He knows the audience, of course. He knows who you are, and he knows what your questions are. So sometimes you might say, wow, Josie, you just answered a question I had. That's part of, doing it this way. So and there's my sister. Yay, she's joined. Hi, Lily. So she said to me little hearts. I asked her to join the green room so she could I could see her pretty face while I'm and nobody else can see her. So when she thought I was going to put her up on stage, I kind of threatened her with that. I said, "Oh, I'll put you up here and you could talk." And she's like, "No." Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Oh, Luisa's there, my dear friend Luisa. Thank you for reminding us to honor ourselves. Yes, we do forget about taking time for ourselves. We do. And some of us are really busy right now. I know Louisa is. I know I am. There are some of us that are just so busy with work, the busiest that we've ever been. So, how do we honor ourselves when we're trying to work and raise a family and do all those things? That's why Gabriel says to make a list. We should make the list to remind ourselves. So just the way we make our grocery list or our sticky list, we need to make a list of things to do to take care of ourselves. So, put it down. I know you're a list maker, Louisa, like I am. So just add one more list, and the list is honoring yourself. So what does that mean? The 20-minute walk in the morning. I'm going to eat an apple a day and see if that helps. I'm going to drink half my body weight of water. My goodness, that's a big one. That's been on my list every day, and I still haven't made that, but I keep it on my list. And I won't say how many ounces of water that is, because then that'll give my weight away. But it's half your, the doctors say half your body weight of water, and that'll help your body to cleanse itself very quickly. So, those types of things. Put it on a sticky note, on your refrigerator, wherever you're going to remember, on that mirror in your bathroom, and put 5 things this week of what, you could do. So if you can type in the chat, maybe you can put some things that you would put on your list. That can help, and then I can share that with others so that it's not just my list. I'd love to hear from you of what things you that are coming up with you that you might put on your list. And nothing personal, because he said not to share, but if you want to put something on there that you think others might think about, that would be good, because again, he's saying that this is not a very, oh, did I see my mom? Put mom back on. I love seeing you, Lily, but I see my mommy. Hi, mommy. I love you. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so happy my mom is there. See, that's something on my list. I'm going to go see my mom this week. Oh, okay, I have to put that down so I don't cry. So that's another thing to put on your list. Maybe see somebody you haven't seen in a while. Because of this coronavirus, we haven't been seeing each other. And I posted this morning on Facebook. I put up little hearts for those of you who are Facebook friends of mine. And it was like a Valentine's card. And I just put good morning, that I really miss seeing everybody. And I do. I just miss seeing everybody. And I just wanted to, remind everybody to open your hearts to each other. That was my message randomly today. And I had so many people that, responded to that. So you could do that on your Facebook or your text as well, to just remember to see people that you haven't seen in a while, and to tell them that you love them. And that helps so much to feel better, for your own health and wellness, because this, us being isolated for these months has affected us in different ways that we don't even understand. And then we kind of digress in ways that we won't know about. This is all new. We've never had a situation like this, at least in my lifetime. And most of our lifetimes, we haven't experienced anything that we're experiencing right now. So we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be. And so we want to remind you in this conversation to take care of yourself. And that could even mean go for a drive. If you haven't gone for a drive, take your car, go out to the mountains or someplace this weekend, and just, if you don't want to be around people, that's okay. You can just park on the side and find a creek, or take a picnic lunch, something like that. We live, in beautiful places. So find that spot and honor yourself by being there, by taking yourself on a field trip, and just being in nature with God, or being with family that you can love and cherish. And cherish those moments, because life is short. We don't know from one minute to the other ever. But right now, a lot of people are thinking about that, because I know for me, I live in California, and most of you do, we're we were in the purple, which is the highest, color to be quarantined, and now we're in the red, which that doesn't make sense to me because I would think it'd be the other way around, but I didn't do the color scheme. So, but now they're talking about we're going to maybe go back to the purple. So, I don't know if that's been happening where you're at, where, one day you're good and you're like, okay, we can go and do a couple things, this thing's going away. And then, a week later, uh-oh, everybody went out. Now the numbers are going up. So we have to go back in. That's stressful. That is stressful. So to find balance with that kind of not knowing what you can do from a day to day, just try to do what you can that day that takes it back to right now. Whatever you're able to do right now, do it. If you're able to go for a drive, because several months ago we couldn't even go for drives, right? Even to nature, unless we were driving to work or something. So right now we're able to go for drives. So do that. Go for drives if that makes you happy. Whatever it is that makes you happy and to honor yourself, that's what you should do. And that's our message for tonight. And I hope that you can appreciate that and really take the homework that Gabriel is asking you to do and make a list of 5 things to do to honor yourself and really go for it this week. And then see how, as you make your list of how you can honor yourself, then you can make another list of how you can honor others. And you can kind of compare the two. But make sure, he says, that they're separate. So your list is only between you and God and between you and your higher source. That's your list. And then the list of how you may honor others, that's separate so that the two do not overlap one or the other. I know that sounds like a spiritual conundrum, but again, he wants the list for ourselves to be separate, not thinking about what others may want on that list. Because we would be tempted to do that. All of us would be tempted to do that. I know I would be tempted to do that. And that's not what this is about. This is about 2 different things, but yet it all correlates together in your life because we have beautiful people in our lives that we love dearly. So we want to be able to honor them, but at the same time, honor ourselves. So I'm hoping that you guys can really resonate with the message tonight of honoring ourselves. And this, again, is a new topic for me because it's something that I generally don't do. Apparently, Gabriel's saying. So he wants me to heed my words, and I'm sure I'll be going back to the show, and I'm going to be taking stuff from this and putting it in the book, because I'm guessing this is something that, we haven't quite put in the book since it's something we haven't looked at. So, and I miss you too, Louisa. I miss you so much. I miss seeing my friends. I really needed to hear this today. Great. I'm so happy that because, I think we're all just kind of doing whatever we have to do next and trying to do it with a smiling face. And that's great. We want to do it with a smiling face, but we don't want to forget about what's inside of us. We don't want to forget about what's really happening there and take care of that so that physically it doesn't start blocking our bodies. Because if we don't release things and we don't take care of ourselves and we don't kind of look at things like that, then we can start manifesting them in our physical bodies. And that's happening a lot right now. And we don't want to do that. We want to really let things go in a way where we're not going to explode in anger or those things. We want to just do it in a gentle, loving way by taking care of ourselves and being gentle with ourselves. Be gentle with yourselves and all of this in your list. Make it a gentle, beautiful list. And, it's kind of contrary to a lot of the things that are happening. There's a lot of aggression right now, and there are, just things like that where people are very, very, animated, extra animated, and that's okay. That's, what's happening with them. And then I know when I watch people that are animated, I start getting animated, and that's, that's what it is. But he's saying just on a different note, take care of ourselves during this process, be gentle with ourselves, take time for that. We can have all the time in the world to be animated and to share our viewpoints and to do whatever it is that we want to do to make a difference on, in this world for each other. But we can't do any of that if we're sick and we're not taking care of ourselves. So That's the message that he really wanted us to share tonight. And he wanted me to share with you is to take care of yourself and remember, if you can love yourself and open your heart, then you can love others. That's always the message. If you can open your heart and you know, and love yourself, then you can share that love energy and that heart energy with each other. That's truly the message that he's giving through all of this. But he's giving us simple techniques so that way we can get there, because it's easy to say, love yourself, love others, open your heart, yada, yada, yada. Right. That kind of, all right. But then again, how do we get there? So we get there by making a list and we actually do something about it. We don't just talk about it, we do it. And we just start doing it now. We start doing it now. It's not too late ever to take care of ourselves and to follow our dreams. And it might seem impossible, but it's not. Everything is possible. He says right now, everything is possible. Anything is possible. And he wants for us to get up and just start doing again and not, be too much of couch potato. I've been couch potato. I'm speaking for myself. It's been nice. I haven't been couch potato in years. So during this time at home, I have spent hours as couch potato and I love it. And that's okay. He says that's balance for me because I haven't been couch potato in probably 30 years. So if I was couch potato a little bit extra this time, that's okay too. Because in my family, I know I can see my mom right here. She has not seen Josie be a couch potato in at least 30 years, right? I haven't stopped. So she'd be very proud of me knowing that I sit there and just do nothing sometimes. So, find that balance. If you are on the couch too much, get up and walk. If you're not on the couch enough, do it. Do whatever it is that's going to bring you balance. That's what I'd like for you to know. And I'm hoping that this message is good for you today and that you can take some of it back to your life and share it with others as well. So our time is almost up. Our show lasts right about an hour, and I'm hoping that we'll have some questions or comments that I can share. But in the meanwhile, I am going to have Debbie put up our commercial from our sponsor, ATS. And then I'm going to look for some questions from you guys.
My name is Christopher Zwick. I've struggled. My name is Christopher Zwick. I've struggled with addiction for all of my adult life. I went from alcohol to opiates to heroin and meth. I spiraled down until I ended up in the hospital, malnourished and suicidal. I was the shell of the man I used to be. Then, I found hope. I found ATS. Advanced Therapeutic Services provided me with a safe environment and the tools necessary to recover. I learned how to address the root issues behind the addiction. I now have over a year clean. I owe my life to ATS.
Thank you, Christopher, for putting that commercial together for us and for sharing your story with us. Christopher is one of our alumni. He's also Debbie G's son, and he came through our program, and he has over a year clean and sober. He's an amazing miracle. And he says he owes his life to ATS, but I say he owes his life to himself and to God because he made a decision and he did it. And we were just there to kind of help give him the tools and and facilitate that wellness for him. And that's what we do for each other at ATS or in life in general is, we can be there to support each other. And I hope that you do that this week. Again, thank you for being part of the show. Thank you, ATS, for sponsoring. Thank you, Spirituality Gone Wild. And next week, we will have a guest on, and I'm hoping it'll be a guest regarding health and nutrition, but we'll see. I'll work on that special guest this week and let you all know on Facebook. And my sister says, Mom says she loves you, and I love you so much, Mom. That was such a treat that I got to see my mom on the show tonight. And thank you, Sissy, for putting her on the show, and so I could see her. And so I hope that you all can, reach out to that family member, perhaps that you haven't been able to talk to, and that you miss, and just do a FaceTime or something. Go see them if you can. and honor yourselves. Do that list of 5. I will do the list of 5, and then next week for old business, I might share that list of 5 and see where I am with that. And if you guys want to share some stuff, please do that. My email is josie@josieherndon.com. I'd love to hear from you. On Facebook, we have Tri-Angels. So if you'd like to join the group Tri-Angels, that's where you can post beautiful things, talk to each other about the stuff that we talk about on the show, and reach out, to each other. I love that. It's a private group, and it's called Tri-Angels. So I hope you can join us there. Thank you so much for being here this night. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off 10 minutes early because this is the message I have. And you can honor yourself for these 10 minutes and just put a timer on your phone. I put a timer on my phone for 10 minutes at a time when I want to take that break. So if you feel like you have those extra minutes right now, put a timer for 10 minutes and just do that for yourself. And until next week, we'll see you then. Thank you so much and have many blessings.